You are standing in a hallway watching your 200K margin die because two conflicting bosses are fighting over your lead engineer. You need those foundation plans finalized right now to hit your critical path, but her functional manager just pulled her back for routine maintenance. You are completely stuck in the middle with 4 weeks of delay piling up. You are failing right now because you assumed your job title actually gave you power over people. PM Panda here. 2.5 decades delivering projects, PMP certified since 2003. The mistake I am about to show you is how budgets really die. This scenario destroys careers because when the dust settles, your executive sponsors will blame you for the failure. They do not care that you do not control the payroll or the resource pool. They only see a red dashboard and a missed deadline. When you do not know the rules of engagement for your specific organization, you cannot negotiate for the hands you need. You get crushed by internal politics because you walked into a knife fight with a clipboard. I once saw a dual reporting conflict freeze an international hospital launch for months because the PM did not understand the hierarchy. To survive this, you have to identify which of the three organizational structures is currently strangling your project. First is the functional structure, which is just a standard corporate hierarchy where projects happen in silos. In this world, you are a project manager by title only, but you have zero real authority over anyone. You have to beg department heads for every hour of work, and your role is usually part-time. If you try to give orders here without permission, you will find yourself locked out of the systems you need to finish the job. Let me stop here, because if you are nodding along right now, you are probably the PM this video is about. You are likely acting like a dictator in a world where you are actually just a glorified coordinator. You need to understand that the structural power dynamic determines whether you are a leader or a victim. The second type is the project-oriented or projectized structure, where you are the absolute boss of a dedicated mercenary team. This is fast and powerful, but it is incredibly expensive because you are duplicating resources that the rest of the company might already have. While you have total authority here, the stakes are higher because there is no functional manager to hide behind when the money runs out. The number I am about to show you is the one your sponsor will ask about first when these structures clash. If you do not know your cost variance right now, stop the video and go check your latest report. Most of you are working in a matrix structure, which is a hybrid battleground where resources report to two bosses at once. In a weak matrix, the functional manager holds the power. In a strong matrix, you hold it. If you misread which version you are in, you trigger a turf war that bankrupts your contingency reserves. Let's look at how this misunderstanding kills your budget with real numbers. You are running an international energy grid installation with an initial planned value of $1,000. You are operating in a weak matrix, but you mistakenly act like you are in a projectized one with total authority. You demand your engineers work weekend overtime without clearing it with their functional boss first. That boss gets angry, feels disrespected, and pulls the entire team off your project on Monday morning to prove a point. To keep the project from total collapse, you are forced to hire expensive emergency external contractors at double the rate. When you hit your progress check, your earned value for the work actually completed is only $800,000. However, your actual cost to pay those contractors has already hit $1,000. To find your cost variance, we take EV minus AC, which is $800,000 minus $1,000. That leaves you with a negative $200,000. Your project is financially dead because you ignored the organizational power structure. Here is what most people get wrong after 25 years of me watching this play out. First, they assume the title project manager automatically comes with a team. If you are in a functional org, you are just a coordinator with a fancy email signature. Second, they ignore the projectitis disease in projectized teams where people stop caring about the parent company. Finally, practitioners often forget that in a balanced matrix, you and the functional manager must jointly approve technical decisions. If you go rogue, the budget pays the price. When you sit for professional certification exams, they will try to trap you with these distinctions. The exam expects you to know that a PM's authority is a spectrum, not a fixed setting. A common trap is a question where a functional manager changes a requirement without telling you. In the exam world, the answer is usually to refer to the communication management plan or the charter to see who actually has the final say. Real life is messier, but the exam needs you to prove you know where the boundaries sit. Going back to that lead engineer in the hallway, the 200K disaster was avoidable. If you had recognized you were in a weak matrix, you would have spent your first week building a relationship with her functional manager instead of just giving her tasks. You would have negotiated the resource allocation upfront and documented it in the charter. Understanding the structure allows you to predict where the conflict will come from before it hits your critical path. You track the authority so you don't have to track the losses. If this breakdown helped you see the cracks in your own project, hit like and subscribe for more practitioner lessons. Your actionable step for today is to open your project charter and find the section on PM authority. Compare what it says on paper to how your organization actually behaves when a department head gets annoyed. If those two things don't match, you need to update your stakeholder engagement plan immediately before you lose another dime.